Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap and also welcome to the government scheme session. The scheme that we are covering it is Atal Pension Yojana, and currently we are covering the social security schemes led by the Ministry of Finance because they have recently completed 8 years. So they have touched a milestone, so they are expected to be asked in your RBI examination specifically. So what are the important things in Atal Pension Yojana you need to remember from the examination point of view, we will discuss. But before starting, here's an announcement for all the aspirants who are preparing for central regulatory bodies. We have come up with one-stop solution guide to all the queries that you must be having regarding the organization you want to join. For example, if you want to know about an RBI, NABARD, SEBI, so everything about that along with different departments, what will be your role once you join the organization, everything has been comprehensively mentioned in these guidebooks. Along with that, all about the recruitment process, what is the age eligibility criteria, what should be your educational background to appear for the examination, what are the different phases, what is the pattern of each phase, what are the previous year trends in terms of cutoffs, what is the syllabus, and all such things are being mentioned here so that you do not have any queries left in your mind, and you can just start off with the preparation for the exam. So you can download these e-guidebooks free of cost from the link that is provided in the description box below. Now let's coming to why we are studying this particular one scheme, because currently, as we have discussed before also, this is the third lecture in continuation. However, you need not to link any of the lectures, but yes, it is important if you can watch the rest of the two sessions also that we have already done. So Jan Suraksha scheme, so it has launched 8 years back. Okay, so we are focusing on Jeevan Jyoti Bima, 8 years of PM Suraksha Bima Yojana and Atal Pension Yojana. Okay, so in today's class, just like we did in the yesterday, now we will do the comparison of three: Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, then we look at the Suraksha Bima Yojana, and then today we will talk Atal Pension Yojana, and if there are some similarity or differences, or wherever they will be, we will discuss. First of all, the first similarity in three, if we talk about, so all belong to Ministry of Finance. Okay, this is one similarity. But apart from that, if we talk about the major difference, Jeevan Jyoti Bima and Suraksha Bima, these are your insurance scheme that we also discussed last class also, right? And APY is your pension scheme. What is a pension? So basically, when we talk about pension, it talks about during the time when the person is working, so at that time a little amount, a small amount of money they save, so that it can get accumulated, and once they reach the retirement age, because once a person reach the retirement age, their physical capability there starts to reduce, right? So at that time they should have a source of income so that they can continue with their proper livelihood. So that is why after reaching the retirement age, which is basically 60 years, the person gets back the money in, and that money that the person is getting earning is known as pension. Okay, so this talks about, so basic idea is to contribute some amount, and the government, once we reach the retirement age, they will pay back us the money. Okay, so this is the basic concept about it. Let's start with the basic and then move ahead. Launcher of this scheme, so it is similar to Jeevan Jyoti as well as the Suraksha Bima Yojana. So I hope you already got it. It's 2015. Okay, falls under Ministry of Finance, but in previous cases we usually looked at it, talked about LIC and other general insurance companies, right? Because we were talking about insurance there. But when we are talking about pension, so we have a whole authority dedicated to it. So what is the name of the authority? It is PFRDA, your Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority. This particular scheme will be administered by PFRDA. Okay, so I hope this is easier to remember because we are talking about pension scheme. Now let's talk about the aim. So basically the aim is to address the longevity risk, means the risk of you can say livelihood or proper living at the longer time. Okay, so basically here, and if we looked at the Jeevan Jyoti and Suraksha also, we understood that the scheme was focusing on unorganized sector. However, anybody can be part of the scheme, but it was mainly focusing on unorganized sector because people belonging to the upper middle class, or maybe the rich families, or maybe middle class also, they take care of these insurances and pension in some other from some other private firms, right? But unorganized people, they are first of all not aware, and even the premium is so high in the private companies that they are not able to afford it, right? So that is why main focus is again just like the previous two scheme, it is on unorganized sector. If question comes in organized, that this in the exam, that this particular scheme focuses on unorganized sector, that statement will not be wrong, that will be a correct statement, because indeed focus is on the workers in organized sector okay, and but yet anybody can be part of it, and that is to voluntary save for their retirement. Once they reach the age, they have some money. Beneficiary, as we talked all, okay, so every citizen of India, now NRI also can be part of it, okay, because it talks about any citizen of India can be part of this particular scheme, especially unorganized sector, okay. But however, recent development was made, and it was if somebody is a taxpayer, then they are not eligible for the scheme. Okay, and if you are someone who was already part of the scheme, but then after a while you became a taxpayer, then that's not an issue. But if you are a taxpayer, now you cannot be part of Atal Pension Yojana. This has been the change that have been made. But yet, if yes, if we talk about the citizens, then all citizens of India, there is no inclusion or exclusion of a particular societal group. But yes, taxpayer are not included now, and rest apart all citizens, and especially focus on unorganized sector is under the particular scheme. What are the eligibility criteria? So first of all, you should have a bank, okay, must have a valid bank account. Of course, from that only the premium will be cut, okay, and that should be linked to Aadhaar, that we know. And today Aadhaar and even PAN card linkage is also mandatory. So these are some of the compulsion things. So I don't recommend you to to remember them separately, because you already know that. Okay, age group is between 18 to 40 years. So what basically, if you look at Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, in that case we looked at 18 to 50, which can be extended to 55. Suraksha Bima Yojana, we looked at it was 18 to 70, and now in this case we talk about pension Yojana, Atal Pension Yojana, it is 18 to 40. Now how to remember this? See, the retirement age, it is 60, and if you look at the norms of Atal Pension Yojana, minimum of 20 years contribution should be made by the beneficiary to take the benefit at the later on stage. Okay, so if minimum of 20 years must be contributed by the beneficiary, and 60 years is the retirement age after the month after which you will start getting the money. So basically, whenever you will become 60 years, 1 month after that you will start receiving the benefits. Okay, so minimum 20 years is required. So of course the maximum age will be 40 only. I hope these small ways are helping you to retain such kind of data. Okay, 18 is the legal age, no need to remember, and 40 because minimum of 20 years contribution we require to get the benefit at the retirement age, and retirement age is 60 years. Each applicant must have a mobile number. Basically, in your mobile number, all the SMS and all the information that are being sent. So it is why your mobile number should be functional, and it will get all the information. Now let's talk about the key features. First talks about the fixed pension ranging from 1000 to 5000 per month. What does it mean? It means that when you will reach the retirement age, okay, now depending on how much premium you have given, because if talks about a range 1000 to 5000, it can be 2000, 3000, 4000 also. Okay, now the money you will get back, of course it will also depend on the money that you have contributed. So I'll just show you the chart in the next slide. But however, the main thing that you have to keep in mind, that once you reach the retirement age, you will get this range from 1000 to 5000 per month, okay, as a pension. Next is we'll start receiving at the age of 60. So just 1 month after 60 you will automatically start receiving the pension. Okay, minimum period contributed is 20 years, and that is why our maximum age is what? Our maximum age is 40 years. Apart from that, if you have made any false declaration, for example about your age, or maybe not that, for example you are a taxpayer but you have made some false declaration so that you can be part of this particular scheme, then that will lead to the penalty. Okay, one penalty you have understood. Now another thing, it talks about loss of the government's contribution. What does it mean? See, initially when this scheme was launched in 2050, so basically what they have done, they have said that whoever will be part of this scheme at the initial moment, so from 2015 to 2020, government will also do co-contribution. Okay, so that basically the aim was to attract more and more people. Okay, and there was a condition to that as well. What was the condition? Basically the condition was that if somebody is already taking benefits from some other social security scheme, or if there are taxpayer, then they will not get the co-contribution. So what do we get from it? Basically we know that government is focusing on the unorganized sector. Okay, so taxpayer, that is why not included. To attract to attract the unorganized sector, they came up with this idea that for 5 years government will do also the equivalent co-contribution. Now there's some limit also of 1000 or below. ठीक है, उसको थोड़ा देख लेंगे. 50% or 1000, whichever is below. I've mentioned it in the slide, so you have an idea. But now if you again look at the statement, so if some person who has made some, for example, false contribution, for example, they were taking benefit some other security scheme as well, but they gave some false declaration and co-contribution of government was also taking place. If they got to know, if the government got to know, penalty is something different that they would have to give. Along with that, whatever contribution that the government would have made, they would also take that back. Okay, and of course it will also affect the interest rate that would have gotten on the overall amount. Okay, so these are some of the key features, and this is the chart. I would not recommend you to learn everything. However, because in previous year RBI, if I talk about a question I've been asked on how much premium should be contributed, I would suggest you just to look for 1 month and 5,000 per month, not 1 month, I'm sorry, it is 1,000 per month and 5,000 per month. Now what to do just for the age of 18 and 39 years. Now you must be thinking, ma'am, why is it not written 40, why it is written 39? Okay, so basically once you reach 40 years one day, then you are not eligible. That is why it's just written 39. ठीक है, so इसका एक देख लो monthly contribution का कितना है, only monthly, don't go for quarterly, half yearly, because that's too much. Okay, only the monthly contribution as a 18. So if you are 18, okay, of course you would have to pay lesser, because then you have more years to contribute, right? And if you are 13 years old, in that case you have to pay 264 per month, because now you have I'm sorry, 39 years of age. Then you would have to contribute much, right? Because then in that case 60, your retirement age is near, है ना? So just remember, 18 years का 42 monthly for 1,000 per month, and for 39 years it is 264. And similarly in case of 5,000, it is 210 monthly that you have to give. So this was the question that was asked in your RBI previous year, that what should be the premium that should be given on monthly basis if you want to go for 5,000 per month pension during your retirement. What does it mean? Monthly, quarterly, half yearly? Basically you can give contribute monthly, you can contribute quarterly, or you can contribute half yearly. That's up to you, but only remember of monthly. And this is your PYQ. I'm reiterating, that is why I'm just saying, just go for the minimum and maximum, and in the also in the case of ages. ठीक है, तो आपका according to 39 आपको कितना देना है, 1318 आपको monthly contribution you had to do if you want a pension of 5,000 per month. Only just remember these 4 data, that's enough. Okay, now it's another thing which I talked about. Okay, so towards the pension plan during a duration of 5 years, so for 2015 to 2020 this contribution will be done, but there was an exception also. And how much contribution will be done? Exception we have understood, if they are already taking benefit under some other social security scheme, or if they are taxpayers, in that case they were not eligible. ठीक है, but how much contribution the government will give, although they will do co-contribution, but how much? Okay, so either 50% of the amount of monthly contribution which the person is doing by the subscriber, or rupees 1,000, whichever is lesser. Okay, for example, if I just go back to make you understand, for example, somebody was 39 years old at that time. Okay, at that time the monthly payment they would have to give 1,318 rupees, right? So in such cases the government will go for maximum to 1,000. ठीक है, क्योंकि और if they look at what is the 50% of it. ठीक है, तो आपको ये चीज़ समझनी है कि maximum to 1,000 or either 50% of it, whichever will be lesser, the government will contribute. Will do co-contribution just for 5 years, and this was done to lure more and more people for this particular this particular scheme. And again, as we already discussed about the exception, whom will not get the benefit of it. ठीक है. Next, let's talk about other key features. So automatic debit, that will happen just in the case of Jeevan Jyoti as well as Suraksha Bima Yojana. Tax exemption has been provided. It means what? So basically whatever contribution you will do, so some of the up to 50,000 can be deducted from your total salary, and this can help you to to get reduced to that taxable slot. ठीक है, तो you have some tax exemption benefits. There are some penalty terms also that we have understood. In case you give some false declaration, some penalty will be done along with that. Okay, not only that, but if you are not paying well, if you are not contributing to the pension yojana monthly, because means for example you have opted for monthly premium but then you are not giving, so in such cases what will be done, for if your amount is rupees 100 or till rupees 100, in that case rupees 1 will be charged per month. If your contribution is between 101 to 500 per month, in such cases rupees 2 will be charged per month if you are not contributing to the scheme. Between 501 से 1000 में 5 rupees charge होगा per month. More than 1000, okay, in that case 10 rupees will be charged per month as a penalty if you are not contributing. ठीक है, withdrawal procedure क्या है? So there are two cases. I will either you will withdraw the money after reaching the retirement age or before reaching the retirement age, right? So in the case one where we are talking about withdrawal procedure after age 60, then in that case it's simple procedure. You have to go to the bank, you have to do the formalities, okay, and whatever be the guarantee premium you will get back, ठीक है? But in another case, if you want to exit before 60 years, initially it was not part it was not actually it could not be done under Atal Pension Yojana, okay, but after that, after some time, this leverage was given. So because in serious condition, in certain conditions, for example, if somebody is severely ill or other such conditions, you require money, right? So in such cases now exit before 60 years can be done, okay, but in such cases there are two things. First of all, there is no age, there is no time limit criteria that at least for this many years you have to be part of it, okay, because again you have to always keep in mind we are focusing on unorganized sector. We cannot force the unorganized sector to be part of something for 10 years, 20 years, right? Because they are the people who are in need of money, right? They require it more. You can't just say, okay, you're somebody severely ill in your family, but we won't give you before 10 years. That is why here the leverage has been given for the years, ठीक है? तो exit before 60 years में in that case, but how much money you will be given? So he shall be refunded the contribution made by him, ठीक है? Only the contribution made by him. Basically, see, देखो, what is the criteria in APY? It happens that you do the contribution, you will get some interest, ठीक है? Now when you will get back the pension, if, and we know minimum of 1000 you are going to get, that is for sure, right? But if for example it happens that there is fluctuation in rate of interest, and due to some any sorts of reason, your accumulation that you have done and the interest that you have gotten over it, if it is not up to 1000 rupees, government will take care of that. Government will add from their own pocket and they will provide you with minimum 1000. And if there is better benefit that you have gotten, means because of rate of interest you have gotten much good benefit than expected, you will get the better one only, ठीक है? तो in minimum case, if you can't reach to that 1000 mark, government will take care of it, but your contribution rate of interest that you have earned over it, it is much better, then you will get the better amount, ठीक है? But in case of exit before 60 year, you shall be refunded only the contribution that is made by you in the particular scheme, along with the net actual interest that have been earned in the contribution. And if you are the case where co-contribution was done, okay, co-contri was done by the government, in such cases government will not give you the money, okay. In such cases government will take back the amount that it has co-contributed. So only the money that you have submitted along with whatever interest that must have been you must have gotten over it, only that amount will you get, okay. Now there can be another case where the subscriber died. Now this the beneficiary can die before retirement, before reaching the retirement age or after reaching the retirement age, right? So in such cases, what will be done? So in case of the beneficiary dies, if he dies before the retirement age, in that case the spouse or the nominee. Why is it nominee? For example, if somebody is 18, 19, 20 years, so in that case we can assume that okay, the spouse is they won't be having any spouse, or maybe somebody 30, 40 also might not have a spouse, right? So that is why slash nominee has been given, okay. Whenever you fill some insurance or pension, there is some nominee that after you who would get the benefit, it's always been asked, okay. So if the person dies before the reaching the retirement age, in that case spouse or nominee have the option if they want to continue with the scheme or they want to just withdraw, ठीक है? If they want to withdraw, they'll just get back the whatever amount and as well as the interest over it. But if they want to continue, see, here you have to understand, they will continue till the retirement age of the beneficiary. You getting my point? For example, if some person was 59 years of age and his wife was 49 years of age, right? In that case the female would have to only continue for one more year, because the beneficiary would have reached 60 in 1 year, ठीक है? तो आपको they have this option that if they want to step back and take whatever money that was being accumulated, or they can just continue till the retirement age of beneficiary. And if the person dies after the retirement age, then spouse and nominee will receive the pension, ठीक है? This has been mentioned in your official guidelines. Now question number 4, case number 4. For example, beneficiary has died and now the spouse has also died. So basically what happens, whenever beneficiary is asked to fill the form, first of all they are asked to fill, and usually the first point of contact which they give is of spouse, or the first person after them who will get the benefit, they write spouse. After that, also in second case also nominee has been written. So there are basically three nominees which they ask for. But here we will just talk about the two. Okay, so first beneficiary, then first nominee, which is usually spouse, and then one more nominee, because in case the first nominee is has died, then in that case what will happen? Okay, so in such cases where the beneficiary spouse has also died, so the beneficiary has also died, the beneficiary spouse has also died, in that case what will be done? Whatever the second nominee will not get any pension. So in that case, what will be done? Whatever the pension wealth accumulated till age of 60 and which were not enjoyed by beneficiary or beneficiary spouse, that will be given to subscriber. What does it mean? I'll give you just in basic terms. I'll tell you. For example, till 60 years, the beneficiary has accumulated 1 lakh into his Atal Pension Yojana account. Now he took benefits till 50,000. Okay, 50,000 tak beneficiary took the benefit. After that, the rest 30,000 means they were getting their pension. Okay. Now what happened? The beneficiary also took some benefit. The spouse also took some benefit, and somewhere around 10,000 she took the money. She utilized this money. Okay. Now she also died. Now in that case, if you look at what is the total amount that the beneficiary had submitted, however, see, in such cases what happens, you will get the pension till you are alive, even if that means the government have to fill pocket from their end. That is one case. ठीक है, अगर उनको अपने जेब से देना पड़ेगा, उनको देना पड़ेगा, but till you die you will get the pension. This is the normal criteria. But in case where the beneficiary has also died, beneficiary first nominee, that is the spouse, has also died, in that case what will be done? आपका जैसे 50,000 है, 30,000 was enjoyed by spouse. Now the government is not going to look at the rest of the amount which it would give to beneficiary now, because beneficiary को तो मरते दम तक मिलने वाला है. So how much money will be given to second nominee? So if you look at it, the second nominee will get how much amount is left till the beneficiary contributed for 60 years. What does it mean? For example, if we looked at now 50 and 30, 80. So 80,000 have been utilized, and beneficiary it totally contributed 1 lakh till 60. So how much is left? So only 20,000 is left, right? And now this amount will be given to the subscriber nominee. ठीक है, समझ में आया? बेनिफिशरी को तो एंड तक मिलेगा. Beneficiary spouse will also get the benefit till the beneficiary dies. Okay, even if that means living for 10, 20, 30 next years, right? That is the case. Now in third case where the beneficiary spouse has also died, so in that case the second nominee will not enjoy such benefits. In that case only the pension wealth accumulated till the age of 60 and was not being enjoyed by the beneficiary or the beneficiary spouse, only that amount will be given. And in this case we have looked at how only 20,000 will be provided to them. Okay, I hope these four cases are clear to you. Now there are in some cases, so we looked at the penalty that will be charged, right? But apart from it, if subscriber APY account is not functional till 12 months, so it will be deactivated. Okay. In case of if there's in case of non-payment till 6 months, the account will be frozen, and for 24 months, that is your 2 years, in such cases your account APY account will be automatically closed. Okay. And as I told you before, now taxpayers are not eligible to be part of the scheme. So these were the important points. And along with the news that we have looked at, see, there are some other news also. For example, this is of 11th May 2023, which talks about APY land achieving the successful implementation in these 8 years, right? So why am I highlighting this? Because see, usually such data are dynamic and not us, was because it has touch the landmark of 8 years. That is why a little bit of we can see. For example, over 5.25 crore subscribers are enrolled. Okay, you have to keep in mind enrolled. Apart from that, this line can be of importance. APY enrollment has continuously shown an increasing trend since its inception. ठीक है, अगर we talk about the increment over financial year 2021-2022 to this financial year, what is the growth rate? It is of 20%. ठीक है, so last year से इस साल if we talk about the enrollment, how many new new enrollments are there, there we have observed an increase of 20%. ठीक है, आई होप दैट्स क्लियर. तो ये आपको 24 एंड रेस्ट आर द सेम थिंग ओनली. ठीक है, तो 20% का इंक्रीमेंट हुआ है. अलॉन्ग विद दैट, बिकॉज ऑफ द लैंडमार्क दैट वाज अचीव्ड, अ डॉक्यूमेंट वाज पब्लिश्ड बाय गवर्नमेंट. In that there are three charts that you can look at. For example, if you look at the blue one, says 1000 rupees. So maximum people has contributed to this particular scheme part, where they'll get 1000 per month back. ठीक है, when they reach the retirement age. Maximum age group 21 to 25 years who have enrolled themselves under the scheme. ठीक है, age wise we have looked at, and this line can be of importance. Over 45% beneficiaries of Atal pension are women as per February data 2023. तो वैसे 45.19 है, but government they are so excited for that 0.19%, so they just say over 45%. ठीक है, तो over 45%, 45.19 is the Atal pension Yojana are women, and this is according to your February data 2023. So this was the important news and all the important points that you need to remember from Atal pension Yojana. Okay, so this is a homework for you all. Kindly attempt that, and these are answers of last session. However, nobody gave the right answer, as Viraj says that yes, both can be part of both the schemes, but claim in only one scheme. That's not true, because all the sources that I've referred on internet, and I referred to multiple sources, in everything it was mentioned that you can take the benefit from both the scheme. But of course, in Jeevan Jyoti, if person has died from natural death, they can only avail from Jeevan Jyoti only, because natural death, it is not included in Suraksha Bima. But if somebody has died of accidents, as per all the sources on internet are present, they can avail both from Jeevan Jyoti as well as Suraksha Bima in the case of accidental death. Okay, I hope that's clarity. And ER, I think you have not also said the right answer. Rakshit, I have taken your doubt, but this will be on low on priority. There are various other schemes that are already lined up, and those are comparatively more important from the examination point of view. I hope you don't mind, but I'll definitely cover. Impana, see, these are especially for the schemes, but I'll convey your request to the respective faculty, and there will be then session on reports as well. Okay, and welcome for that. And Himanshu, okay, I've taken the suggestion. I'll make a video on that. And Rishabh, yes, but the question was not on participating, it was more on availing the risk coverage, okay, or benefit. But yes, you have said the right from what you understood, that participation can be done in both the schemes. Okay, and that is all in this video. If you liked the video, kindly subscribe to our channel, and you can also get the PDF of this lecture from the Telegram group, and you can find the link of our Telegram group from the link that is present in the description box below. So that is all. Please suggest me the schemes that you want me to cover. There are already some lined up, so to the most important ones that are from the RBI point of view, I'll first cover them. Next session will be on NPS, National Pension System. Why we are covering these four? Because that is also a pension system. There are some similarities between that and that of APY. So we will then in tomorrow's session will compare all the four schemes, because they are more or less similar in nature and therefore confusing. I'll give you a chart in the next session where all the differences and similarities will be there. So that is all in this video, and please provide the feedback in the description box, in the comment section, and if you have any doubt, you also write that down. I'll definitely reply. Thank you everyone.